Hello everybody, it's TannerFishies here, back again with a new Ninjago video here on the channel. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at some original concepts and Ninjago designs that did not make the final cut during whatever season they were actually put into production. Like many other TV shows and movies, Ninjago has had several different designs for things that we know and love over the years, and certain recognizable characters that we find to be staples of the franchise. I've collected a couple of very unique original designs that I want to take a look at in today's video, and what I personally think about them. This video will not cover every single Ninjago concept or design that I found intriguing. There are several more that I could totally cover in future videos if you would like to see more videos like this one. So without further ado, let's take a look at some original Ninjago designs that did not make the final cut for one reason or another. Why don't we start things off by taking a look at the ninja themselves. As you can see, the Ninjago staff originally had a very different idea in store for our first year of Ninjago. Instead of 4 ninja, we had 5 ninja, and the elements are as follows. We have a water ninja right here, a fire ninja right here. Here we have a storm ninja, so not lightning. Here we have earth, except their color is green. And here we have a moon ninja with the color of brown. Not exactly sure where these colors come from, especially for these two, but I do find these suits to be interesting. Much like the original Ninjago ninja suits, they are very uniform in design, just with the ninjas' respective colors and respective symbols. I do like how that carried over to the final concept for Ninjago. It is worth pointing out as well that they originally had different names in mind for these characters, such as Ben being the green ninja's name, or Scott being the name of the red ninja. In addition, when the actual finalized concepts of the ninja were decided upon, the designs were still very early in production. Here we have an early sample of Kai. As you can see, his ninja suit would consist of this weird black dragon symbol, and he would have 2 katana as his weapon. Here is an early design for Jay, and as you can see, the nunchuck still carried over into the final design. Here's an early design for Cole, whose weapon at that point in time appears to be some type of bow staff. And here we have an early look at Zane. As you can see, the actual throwing stars carried over into the final concept, and here you can see a better look at that same dragon symbol that would have been used on all of the early ninja. I also want to point out that these early designs did not have gloves. I wonder what made the Ninjago team change their mind on that decision. Besides the ninja themselves, several other characters had early or preliminary designs. Here we have an early concept of what Skylar might have looked like at some point in time. This, of course, was an early design for season 4, so we're kind of jumping forward in the timeline a little bit. As you can see, this design for Skylar is very, what's the right word to describe this? A little bit more adult-oriented than the Skylar that we all know and love, but I do think this does kind of work for her mysterious nature. I like how she's sort of burning her cowl right here, sort of representing her amber power when she stole Kai's fire. We also have a very interesting outfit right here for Skylar. Not going to go into too much detail regarding that, but you can see what's going on here. I understand why they changed this design. Might have been a little too, once again, adult-oriented for a LEGO series. Here we have an early design at what Pythor might have looked like. Of course, Pythor P. Chumsworth from season 1. As you can see, very different design. He actually has a green color scheme going on and a bone in his tail. Not sure what that's all about, and he's carrying some type of scroll. He looks pretty menacing, but I actually really enjoy this design. I remember I did a video on this a while back. But yeah, this first design for Pythor, I'm not super upset with. I think that this might have worked. The green design is rather cool looking, but I do think the purple fits Pythor's personality a little better, dare I say. Here we have some early write-ups for Samurai X, specifically the Nia version of Samurai X, and the original figure should have included something like this, a blacked out head with some type of detailing on it. That way you could not really tell what exactly the identity of Samurai X was. As you can see here, we do have some hints though as to how they could reveal their identity with the eyes and the fire and the tassels and the color of the actual samurai suit. Overall, the samurai design for Nia borrowed a lot from this, I feel. Here we have a very early concept for Master Wu compared to the final design. Yeah, the final design is much better. Is it just me, or does this first design seem a little too stereotypical? I mean, I hope I don't get in trouble for saying that, but it does kind of feel like maybe this design was the safer option, so I can see why they decided to go with this. That first design, though, is interesting, and I do appreciate the detail, but yeah, this design was probably a lot more of a safer option for LEGO to go with at the time. Here we have some more examples of early designs for key characters. Right here, as you can see, we have an early design for Lord Garmadon. Not exactly sure what's going on with this design. I'm not a big fan of this red trench coat look. I much prefer the Garmadon that we actually got in the series. I do like the staff though. The staff looks nice. I just don't think the red color kind of fits Garmadon, and I don't really like that mask either. I don't know what's going on with that. Yeah, so not a big fan of this early design for Garmadon. Here we have an early look at what Samukai might have looked like, more demonic than skeleton, so it makes me think that they were going to do some type of demon villains instead of skeletons at first. 4 arms, still carried over, of course, and he does have this weird sword-looking thing. So I guess you could say the spirit of this original Samukai design made it into the final concept, but yeah, not super big on this one either. And here we have the 5 Lords of Doom. I imagine these would all be identical, and I'm not sure what these guys are supposed to be. Here we have another look at some early designs for the skeletons. This is presumably when they finally settled on skeleton designs. As you can see, some of these names definitely did not stick, though Cruncha and Knuckle here are still very much, you know, recognizable. Same with Samukai, or as he's referred to here, Samuki. So probably changed the name at some point in development right there. But Garmadon is what stands out the most about this whole thing. Look at Garmadon's early design. Kind of similar to the final design with the purple and the black and the bone helmet, but this design is much more skeletal, probably taking armor or even remains off of, you know, previously defeated skeleton warriors. That nice staff with the purple fire, that looks quite nice. And I suppose this design for Garmadon would not be the worst thing ever, though I do think it doesn't really fit with the Garmadon that we know, obviously. Though I do think him stealing, you know, skeleton parts off of fallen warriors is a pretty good idea and kind of scary to say the least. If you guys have been in the Ninjago fandom for a while, you might recognize this famous image. This is an early animation model from the pilot episodes. As you can see, this is the scene where Kai is first introduced to his teammates, the 3 black ninja. As you can see though, Kai's hairpiece is very ridiculous. This is when they were still using the Exoforce style hair for Kai. Very, very happy they stepped away from that because this just looks ridiculous, I'm gonna say it. Here we have an early concept for Season 3 Rebooted, more specifically the Digital Overlord. I like this design. We can see a lot of these design elements, especially the tentacles and the weird glowing blue effect, kind of carry through to the final design, though this design is a little bit more scary, dare I say. I can see why they may have changed it in preparation for the final appearance of the Overlord. Speaking of the Overlord himself, here we have an early design as to what his Golden Master form may have looked like. As you can see, the weird multiple-legged walker design did indeed start over here with the original concept, though the legs for the golden armor are very different. Instead of actually, you know, making golden armor, the golden weapons themselves play a role in this design. You can see the fire sword right here, the nunchucks, the shurikens, the scythe. Each one of the golden weapons would have made up a leg for this weird walker mech. But yeah, this early design is not the best, and I can see why they changed it, though I do like the concept of the golden weapons each making up one of the physical legs of the walker, of the golden master walker mech thing. This is something pretty scary, and this is also something that I did a video on a while ago. This is an early concept for what Zane might have seen when he broke through the prison in Season 4 and found Pixel's remains. Instead of finding her uploaded on a flash drive, he would have found this, with her head still intact and her body parts lying around. We got something similar in the final product. You could see some of Pixel's arms or whatever kind of laying around in the background, but this is just horrifying. Imagine seeing this, and imagine seeing this talking. That's just scary to me. Another concept from the Tournament of Elements that never made it into the final product is this guy right here. This is an early design for an Elemental Master of Time that would have appeared in the actual tournament itself. In terms of why they decided to remove this character altogether, maybe it's because they wanted to utilize the Masters of Time later on in the series, and that ambition eventually grew into Achronix and Crux, the Time Masters that we know and love. Here we have some early designs for the Possessed Green Ninja from Possession. They originally wanted to go for a more terrifying look. I feel like this design right here is pretty scary compared to what we ended up getting. The actual full body image of this design as well, not sure how to feel about that. You can see where the green ninja elements come into play, such as the shoulder pads and the belts and the buckles and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of prefer the evil green ninja design that we got in the show, though this is a pretty cool starting concept, I will say. Here we have a design for a scrapped Sons of Garmadon character. This guy may have been another general in the Sons of Garmadon army, along the same lines as Mr. E, Kilo, and Ultraviolet, because he does look pretty official and unlike several other Sons of Garmadon members. As you can see, he also has an Oni mask, this one being green in nature. Not exactly sure what this scrapped 4th Oni mask would have had in terms of powers, though I have to admit, this guy would have been a pretty cool character to see in Season 8, and I'm kind of disappointed that his design never carried through to the final product. And lastly, here we have an early design for Hero Cole from the Master of the Mountain storyline. I've talked about this design already before, but I really do like this concept. I think this would have made for an excellent Cole suit. A little bit more gray than I would have liked. I would have loved to have seen a little bit more black sprinkled throughout this, but I do really like that helmet piece. It kind of looks like it uses the Season 8 or Ninjago movie, top of the headpiece, but instead of the actual lower part being more of the mask, it's instead this weird armor knight-looking thing. Kind of a proto-design for what we would eventually see from the Hero Ninja, though some of this design I do prefer over the final Hero Cole that we eventually got for Season 13. So there you guys have it. Thank you so much for checking out today's video. Those are just a few of the original Ninjago designs that I found to be intriguing and worth talking about. If you'd like to see more videos like this in the future, feel free to let me know, because I totally found a whole bunch of other Ninjago designs and concepts that I would love to talk about at some point in time. And let me know down below in the comments which original design or concept you found to be the most interesting. Leave all your thoughts down below, and once again, thank you so much for checking out today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and check out the links down below in the description for other forms of social media. Thank you all so much for checking out today's video. Once again, you guys, my name is TannerFishies, and with that, I bid you farewell.